So guys, how are you doing? Today is a very special day at a very special place. We are in Spain, near Malaga, in Andalusia, in the western part of Spain, and are sitting on a plateau in the landscape here in a beautiful scenery. And today I'm going to show you all the details about the new RS e-tron GT facelift first of all, but this is also the performance model, which is just offering crazy performance and crazy details. And you know that since a few weeks we are owner of an RS e-tron GT of the previous generation, and that's the reason why I wanted to find out how much better is this car actually, what does it actually offer on top of it, because we are very happy with our current generation already. The looks are amazing and of course stay amazing. The charging power is amazing. The power on the Autobahn with that 2-gear transmission is amazing. The entire platform is amazing, and that's the reason of course why I'm very excited to see all the news about this car. Many people said that this is more or less an electric A6 or something, like an electric Audi A6, and I would actually say the best way to describe this car, it's more like an R8 with 4 doors, because the low center of gravity, the low seating position, you're sitting like in a fighter jet in this car, and it's totally different than driving any other electric car on the market. I mean, besides that Taycan, which is on the same platform of course. It's a very unique feeling and a very special place, and I'm so glad that Audi has invited us to show you this car and yeah, go through the details and talk you through the changes that they have made. We actually walked to the back because I think this is one of the nicest angles that you can see this car. I had a lot of debate with the Audi guys. I wanted to put the spoiler up and they said don't do it, it's killing the lines, but honestly I really think that it looks good with those with the rear spoiler up. Of course you can lower that, and at standstill that's only a show feature, that it's maybe my personal taste. I still love it. The first thing that you realize at the back is that the diffuser has greatly changed. I don't know if you can see that, but compared to the previous generation diffuser, which was more or less individual segments and it was not really sticking out that much, this one is now already from the side and from a few meters away recognizable as a RS e-tron GT model. And this is actually also dedicated, this diffuser, only to the RS e-tron GT models. The performance model on top only comes, or is the only version that comes with the matte carbon, which is more or less a forged carbon, but they call it camouflage carbon matte, which is in the matte version only available for the RS. There's actually a plane coming, killing our moderation here. This is probably one of those planes that we came with. Nevertheless, the color, which is also very special, first of all is only available for the performance model, which is I think it's called Bedford Green. It's a metallic that probably, we've talked about it, if the sun isn't shining in it that much, it's probably very similar to Daytona gray. It's getting more the grayish content, and of course on this platform in like 100% sun in Spain, yeah, the green effect comes across even better and more precisely. Another thing that you have probably already seen as we were walking around the car, of course, is the fact that we have, actually we'll walk to the other side because the sun is better, but you can already see it here, a very nice lightweight performance wheel with new performance tires on this one. Let's see if we can see that better from this side. First of all, the design element is that we have this center cap more or less from as a design perspective, and that of course helps to make the wheel look even better. Behind that we still have the carbon ceramic brakes, probably the same ones that we also have in our RS e-tron GT, but the tires are a further development. And we also talked about the ride height. You can already see that this is a very low sitting vehicle. The performance model sits 12 millimeters lower, if I'm not mistaken now. Sorry Audi guys, and maybe I forgot the right number, but I think it's 12 millimeters lower already sitting than the regular RS e-tron GT. And there's of course also an S version that I have not even talked about, that we can also go through the figures later on, which is even then having a higher suspension in the end. So this is a very distinct look already from the outside. Next thing that I wanted to show you, and I hope this is possible to see on the camera, is at the front we have these camouflaged carbon matte elements and those RS wings, which are now supposed to be a signature for all electric cars from Audi Sport, which are coming from Audi Sport, so that you can easily recognize the car already from the outside. It's a bit sad that the sun is now coming from the wrong direction, because the front really, in my perspective, makes a huge difference to what you had before, and it's similar to what we have seen at the back, that at the front you can immediately recognize that this is an RS model. So that's a difference to before, where you've seen, yeah, okay, it's all e-tron GTs more or less look the same no matter what power output you had in the end, but this one is now yeah, very distinct. Yeah, carbon mirror caps as well in the camouflaged carbon. We also have, and that's very nice, a carbon fiber roof, which is not glossy for the performance model, but is matte as well, so it fits to the matte carbon finish at the other parts of the car. And you can already see here that there's a nice Alcantara dashboard, and it is so hot out here, so we will jump inside and I will show you the changes inside and talk you through some of the performance figures, because that's even more, let's say, incredible. But this really also looks really nice. I'm hugely in love with this car. Let me check first before we jump inside. I think we still have the same, where is it? Yeah, we still have the same 305 tires in the back. That has stayed the same, but as said before, a more performant tire in the end. And of course a nice badging here, like we have seen it on recent Audi cars. Let's open the door. Something that would usually happen if you do that is, and this is what Audi is claiming, the new active suspension that this car has would raise the entire car that you can get in. And I told the Audi guys and said, actually, I want to keep it in the lowest setting possible. I honestly, I don't know how you feel about it, but I hate it once I open the door and the car is lifting up like, I don't know, feeling like 5 centimeters. It looks like a bus then, and this would be very uncool. Although of course it's a comfort feature if you get in. Already opening the door, you can see that this forged carbon camouflage carbon fiber, I mean, this is more or less the Audi term for it, to distinct that from the forged carbon that Lamborghini has, but more or less it's probably a very similar technique. It is very present. I mean, it really looks like camouflage, and together with the green, it is really, yeah, a camouflaged and military look in this car. Also within the door panels, already at our car we also have the matte carbon fiber, but of course the regular carbon fiber in the pre-facelift. I really like those panels. It is really high quality, also in conjunction with those elements here. Saying it again, this feels more or less like an Audi R8, and this is also something that we can feel once we are getting inside, which is very comfortable now for me. Let me first put it in drive to turn the steering wheel around. You can also see now that the steering wheel is entirely revised. As similar as on the outside, I have not even talked about it. They have a new CI more or less. Those flat Audi rings are now in there. And also from the outside you would see that the front grille is lower with the new Audi grills, and also the rear shows the new Audi rings in the end. We have a top and flat bottom steering wheel, which is bloody gorgeous, I would say. It's probably one of the best steering wheels I held in my hand, not only because it is full Alcantara or whatever the material called is at Audi, but it also has boost functionality. It has a quick toggle for the RS modes, has those nice elements, although I have to get used to it probably because they're more touch than they were before. We have the RS badge in here, and dedicated again. This is also a e-tron GT performance steering wheel again, that you can only get once you have this interior pack. We have a white signature speedometer in there, which let me show you something. Once you are now getting to the settings, you can actually change that to the more traditional looking speedometer, Audi Virtual Cockpit, like it was before. We click on Sport and I say yes, I want to change it, And now we're having, I mean, oh my goodness, isn't that amazing? Now we're having those nice white reminiscence to traditional cars with the speedometer going up to 300. I really love that, and I think it's one of the coolest looks that you can get in a car. This looks so much, let's say, petrol car-like, although it is an electric performance car. Also, they have changed the sound, they said, from the loudness and also from the tone. We cannot check it now because it's a standstill stationary test here, but nevertheless, I think there are many things that make this car even more emotional than our RS e-tron GT already is of the recent generation. Inside, you can already see it. I mean, this is a huge panel of that camouflage carbon matte, which just has a huge presence. It's really good, and also new badging and CI for e-tron GT at the top there. And I think we have also those elements in here now. In our car they are more aluminum or silver, and here they are in this dark palladium, whatever you would call it, and they are more closely linked to the outside, which is also matte, and this is also dedicated to the performance model. Something that I really love, hopefully this material will stay fine over time, is of course also, this is not the clean leather, but this is also Alcantara around here. Same center console as we have in our car, but Alcantara right here, which of course increases the quality again. What else can we say before we talk about the performance, charging performance and driving performance? The seats have now illuminated RS logos, so once you turn on the car or you open the car, they will be flashing and are illuminated, which is a very nice feature at night, which of course another brand from southern Germany had already put in their cars in the past, but nevertheless it's a very cool thing to see. Now let's talk, and of course the part that you're all interested is the performance of those cars, and with that let's go to the drive modes first. So you can recognize the performance model because this car has an RS performance mode in here, which also means of course that the suspension is being lowered to the lowest setting. If we would go to the RS performance mode, it's changing the dash again here. But if we would now, for example, go into the RS1 mode, I can already tell you that there's a change in the setting, because you can now choose the height of the suspension independent of the drive mode that you're in our car. To go to the most, let's say, lowered suspension, which means stark abgesenkt in German here, you would have to go to the efficiency drive, which of course didn't make sense because the car's not driving faster than 140 and blah blah. It's not that smart. And now we have the possibility to go to the really low setting individually, and of course you can say I'm going to the most sporty setting, and that will change it. I don't know if I'm now measuring the throttle, if something is happening. No, this would be actually a very nice feature, that you can rev the car at standstill. I mean, rev it would be really cool. Let's talk about the buttons on the steering wheel, because that's our bridge more or less to performance. This car has the boost function, and that means you have 70 kilowatt extra power, which is more or less like 100 and what is it, 20 HP or something like that. Extra power for 10 seconds. Push to pass is the function that is behind that, and that means that you're getting a very good, let's say, acceleration times 100 to 200 for example, or if you want to pass a car on the country road. I mean, this is just insane power. Talking about insane power, this car has 925 HP in the launch control setting. So if we would go to dynamic or RS mode, foot on the brake, foot on the throttle, release it, you are getting 925 HP, and the acceleration time from 0 to 200 would be just 8 seconds. 8 seconds, 0 to 200. That is simply crazy. And if you do the math correctly, the figures are telling that this car is able to do 2.5 seconds, 0 to 100. That means in launch control mode, this car is doing 5.5 seconds, 100 to 200, which I think is such a huge step up to the car that we have. That is very amazing, because you've probably seen our video that we uploaded of our car. We did 3.3 seconds 0 to 100, and we did I think it was a 6.9 or 7 seconds 100 to 200. So that's very interesting combination or that's a very huge step upwards in performance. One more thing that I haven't even talked about is that this is a dedicated color pack. It's serpentine green stitching in here, which is in the dash. It is in the steering wheel, in the side panels of the door, and also in the seats, and really has a nice look. It's classy and sporty at the same time. Without further talking, I would say let's get out in the heat, do one more walk around, because this is just a very amazing car. Have it in P, everything should fit in the lowest settings, and you can also take a look at that steering wheel once again in the bright sun here with a matte camouflage carbon, which is really nice. Yeah, I'm very happy that you joined me today on this wonderful sunny day in west southern Spain to look at the performance model of the RS e-tron GT, and I'm really looking forward to drive this car on the country road, do amazing shots of the nice diffuser, yeah, see if the performance has really increased that much, and measure it with our own race box, of course. And yeah, with that, I'm looking forward to your comments, and I'm anxious to hear your thoughts if you would prefer this enhanced version of the RS e-tron GT as the performance model, or if you still would say the new Taycan Turbo S or maybe even Turbo GT is what you would take. I honestly have to say that this shape is just classy, and I also really love that color.